What's so special about Hero Bread's soft, fluffy, and delicious breads, buns, and tortillas? Hero Bread serves up 0 to 1 grams of net carbs, 5 to 11 grams of protein, and high fiber in every delicious serving. Made with natural ingredients, Hero Bread supports gut health, promotes weight management, and helps maintain blood sugar. Hero also drops other limited edition ultra-low net carb goodies like rich, flaky croissants and buttery brioche slider rolls. Head to hero.co to shop today.
Hey guys, welcome to Cozy Womb Podcast. My name is Shan, mama of the girls. This is season 4. This series will be primarily just about women who are out here just doing it up. And when I say doing it up, doing it in their own way, running their businesses, not momming the traditional way, not working the traditional way, just really out here cutting their own pattern as to who they want to be and what they want to become. So this series is primarily about great women who are among us and just really picking their minds and seeing what their why is. I'm very interested in what women today why is, as to what they do, why they do it, how do they feel while they do it, and really just representing and shouting out other women. So that's what this series is. Welcome to Cozy Womb Podcast. Let's get into it. Wait. Before we get into this episode, let's show some support. Let's go.
Hey, it's Anya Dula, and I am the host of Intercultured with Anya Dula. Intercultured with Anya Dula is a podcast that focuses on motherhood, culture, birth work, and travel. And it's just a place for women to come together to discuss our philosophies on motherhood, to discuss our work and birth work, if that's what we do, but mainly to bring women of all different cultures together so that we can talk about how we mother, how we #do motherhood, so that we can learn from one another and learn to love each other. That's really what it's all about. I hope you'll join us. Intercultured with Anya Dula podcast is available on all the major podcast stations. I hope you'll join us. Can't wait to connect.
Here we go.
Back to the show.
Back to the show.
Everything is still, some people aren't taking it so seriously, so it's like business as usual.
Yeah.
And then other people, like, I'm staying in my house, I don't want to catch corona,
Right.
so I'm not leaving.
I'm the same. So my job this week, they called me and they were like, we're only allowed 9 people in the store. We closed down 800 stores, but our store is going to stay open only for a few hours. And this week, we didn't put you on the schedule, but we'll pay you, even though you're not on the schedule. But next week, we'll see who we can get on the schedule to come in. I'm just like, well, I'll be home. This is my kids.
Exactly.
And I know, like, the CEOs, all the owners, the district managers, I know they're home with their families. So why do you feel like it is okay for you to basically pawn off other employees?
I said if I had to go into work, I would just say I'm self-isolating regardless of what the story was. So I was going to stay home regardless.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just like, whatever. So I've been making the most of being inside. I've been doing a lot of reading, a lot of writing, a lot of throwing away things, a lot of organizing.
But it's like you've got the time to do that now, isn't it?
Yes!
Finally.
Yes. I'm just like, okay. So I'm happy that I have this time to do everything. But at the same time, it's like the anxiousness of not knowing, like, when is the deadline for this?
Yeah.
When is it over? What is going to be different? So.
It is very, it's just everything is up in the air.
Right.
And it's just, How long has it been over where you guys are?
I want to say since last Friday.
See, that's roughly about the same time it kind of went left for us as well.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, it was like we're still going to work, everything was normal. Last Friday they closed the schools, and then was it yesterday or the day before? Then they said, "Oh, it's lockdown."
Right.
So here we are.
Right. But this is like the epitome of our government not having a plan and not being organized.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm just like, okay, whatever.
It's just a joke.
Right. So I brought you on today because I came across your page and you were doing like a mom blog and just giving out knowledge, and I was like, okay, this is someone that is a mother, this is someone that is, giving out information, sharing experience, and I said, I need to talk to her. So this is episode 7, and this is Tanni Reid, and she is a blogger, a YouTuber, and a mother, and I just want to share her thoughts about what's going on now. I want to share, her why behind why she blogs and why she chooses the topics that she talks about. So welcome to Cozy Womb Podcast.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So why did you start your blogging?
Wait, I can't hear you anymore.
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
We've got some technical difficulties. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Now I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So why did you start your blogging?
So when I got pregnant, I was very unplanned. I had no idea it was happening. I did find out very early in my pregnancy. But then I just kind of felt like when I was reading and seeing other people blogging or pictures of people on Instagram, everyone was just like glorifying it, and it was like, oh my God, my pregnancy is so amazing and I'm glowing. I looked like death. I felt like death. I was just dying the whole time, and I was just like, no, why is no one feeling the same thing as me?
Right.
So then I just kind of wanted to just share things that I was going through. Like my skin broke out awfully.
Mine too, in the middle of my chest.
Yeah, it was like I was a teenager again. My chest, my back, my shoulders, everything had acne, and I was just like, what? Like, I have not heard one woman speak about the negatives or the like downsides of pregnancy. It's always like, oh, airy fairy, and oh, I just look amazing. My glow did not happen. I think it happened within the last month of my pregnancy. The rest of my pregnancy, I felt like them. I looked like them. Like that was and even like women I met in real life, like a few of my colleagues were pregnant at the same time as me. And I was like, so how are you doing? Expecting them to kind of resonate with me. Mm-hmm. No. Oh, I feel completely fine. I haven't been sick once. I'm bouncing up. I woke up and done gym this morning. I'm just like, oh.
That's how my mom is. Like everybody that's pregnant, I'm just like, you know what? If you have any questions that are serious, call my mom and ask her. And my mom's like, yeah. You call me. And I'm just like, but do not ask my mom about what you're going to look forward to, because she will glorify it. My mom has 5 of us. I'm the last girl, and she has all sons is the rest. And she had all of us vaginally without any medicine. She was reading when she was in labor with me. And I'm just like, don't listen to her, because that's not the truth. Every month of my first pregnancy, I had a new symptom, and it was not good. And that whole glorifying of your hair is going to be long and beautiful. No, my hair felt like a Brillo pad that you clean pots with. No, it was not. Okay.
I mean, my hair was the one thing. My hair and nails was the 2 things that were in abundance. Like my nails were nice and long and flourishing. My hair grew loads. Other than that, everything, no. My eyelashes fell out, everything. What? Yeah.
In the summertime, I think I was in Florida with my mom. I was in West Palm Beach, Florida. I think I went 3 months without wearing panties because it was so hot. you can't see anything, and I just wore dresses. So I'm just like, we're just about to be out here blowing in the wind and enjoying this heat. So yeah, that whole glorifying pregnancy, I hated it. I hated it so
Honestly, I just felt like there was no one I could kind of relate to. So when I did it initially, it wasn't like, I didn't even think anyone would see it. I was just posting because I was just like, no one else has told me what the real is of pregnancy. And if I can even help one person feel like, oh, I'm not alone, then like I've done a good job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I initially started it. And then as pregnancy was going on, then no one wanted to speak about birth. No one wanted to speak about recovery. No one wanted to speak about my big old postpartum belly that was still there after like 3 weeks. And I was just like, wait, what?
Right.
Because it's like there were so many topics that no one was kind of being real about. It was all very fancy and, oh my God, I had my baby yesterday. Look how flat my stomach is and my abs are popping. And I was just there with my big belly still like, where?
You know how after you have the baby and the doctors say, well, you have to use the bathroom and do a number 2 before you leave. When I tell you I lied to the doctors, I said I went.
Yeah, I did.
Refused to take a poo for 2 weeks because everything down there felt broken. My mom was giving me baths because I didn't want to bend over. I didn't feel comfortable.
It was horrible. Because even the same with you, I don't think I did for 2 weeks. And even I was petrified. I was like, my stitches are just gonna break open.
Yes.
If I do try and like push, my womb's gonna fall out my vagina, and this is the end of my children.
I must have had like probably 4 weeks of poo within me because the week before she was due, I refused to poo because I kept watching videos and reading up on hemorrhoids may happen. I'm just like, I don't want no hemorrhoids. So
no, but that doesn't help.
I know, but you know when you're over the pregnancy. I was over the pregnancy at 6 months. I said, okay, I'm done. She needs to go.
At 6 months, really?
I was done with it, but both of my kids were late, so she was in here, feet back, just relaxing. And I'm just like, you need to get out. So
how old was you?
I was 41 weeks with Anya, the first one, and then I was over 40 weeks and like almost to 41 with Aria.
So they must have been big babies as well then.
No, and that's another thing that really made me mad because I really wanted a fat baby, and I think Ari was 7 pounds 2 ounces, and Anya was I can't even remember what Anya was, but she didn't even get 8. I was like, you doing all of this hassle, and you're not even coming out here plumped. I'm just like, y'all are just the epitome
like,
of a girl.
Happy. Be happy.
So I'm just like, I was like, okay. But that's why, I came up with Cozy Womb, because if something's cozy, you never want to leave it. So that's why, brought the podcast. But I really did want to bring light on that every pregnancy is not the same. You can't really read like all the good stuff. So I completely identify with that. And I lived on YouTube. So any mothers that are going through certain symptoms, please post. Yeah. Please talk about it, because a lot of moms feel guilty that they're not having a great time during pregnancy. And I tell people all the time, I love my kids, but I hate being pregnant and I hate labor because I do not like pain. So when I see women that are like having home births and I talk to doulas, I'm just like,
no, I couldn't.
I don't hear what you say. Give me the drug.
The thing is, I don't know why one has to take away from the other.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean, like, just because I don't enjoy pregnancy, it doesn't mean I don't want any more kids in the future. Well, I'm still debating it, even full stop, because
I am close. Okay, my birthday this year, I want to close up shop. Because I'm more so terrified of the Lord giving me another girl and thinking that it's a joke. So I'm done. Joke's on him, I'm done. So yeah,
No, I don't know if I can go through it all again, to be honest. I really don't. I'm traumatized.
Yeah.
I'm so traumatized. But I don't feel like not enjoying pregnancy, not enjoying birth, labor, all the rest of it should be associated with not liking or loving your child. It shouldn't correlate, and we shouldn't feel guilty for saying I don't like pregnancy. It's not fun. Nothing about it is fun.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it wasn't anyway. I can't speak for the whole.
Some women enjoy
population.
it. Some women
They
enjoy
do.
it. But
Mine wasn't enjoyable.
Listen, there are love conditioners that I can never have still because I can't stand the smell. I can't.
Really?
Yeah, I can't walk into a deli and smell the meat because it makes me nauseous still.
I'll stop it.
Certain deodorants I can't use because they don't work on me anymore since the pregnancy. So pregnancy will disrupt.
No way.
It disrupts things. So I'm just like, okay.
It does. I can't deal with too strong a smell either. But I didn't associate it to the pregnancy though. Now you're saying it, I'm thinking maybe that's why.
Yeah, if you liked something before and then you notice that after you had your baby you can't.
Yeah.
That is what it is. It
That's so
completely
interesting.
changes the chemistry of your body. So.
It's actually insane. We go through so many changes and so many difficulties. I don't know why women are not like beyond men in terms of like having respect for like, and even for ourselves. I don't feel like a lot of women have respect for themselves.
Yeah.
When especially, we do so much,
especially
we do so much, we have to deal with so much.
I did an episode on this man really talking really bad about his wife after she had his kid, and that she had a horrible stretch mark. And he was like, I'm not attracted to her because she has horrible stretch. I'm just like, sir, she could have died having the child you have, and you have the nerve to talk about how you're so against her having stretch marks.
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I've seen so many people say like nasty things about stretch marks. Like I posted like my postpartum stomach, and my stretch marks were so deep, and like my stomach was big. My stomach was like black in comparison to like the rest of my body. Yeah. And like so many people like it was varied. Some people was like appreciative of the post because it's like we hardly see stuff like this. And then other people were like, oh, this is horrible, like blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, why in this day and age are we still like so upset with how the human body looks and how the human body evolves after it has experienced things? Nothing in this world is perfect.
Right. What is perfect?
It's subject to the individual.
Exactly.
So you're never going to win. Not perfect doesn't exist. It just is.
Yeah.
So I don't see why people still have this like whole shock factor when it comes to women's bodies.
I think that annoys me to the point where when people get so upset that a woman is breastfeeding her child outside bothers me.
It's so stupid.
It's a boob. Everybody has a boob. Men have boobs. Women have boobs. If you're in a restaurant, I'm for, the little cover thing, fine. But if I'm outside at a park and you cannot see a nipple, are you upset that you see my flesh that's round? Like,
I just didn't care. When I was breastfeeding anywhere, on the bus, on the tube, on the train, if my baby is crying because he's hungry, he needs to eat. Right. When you're hungry and you're not in mood, no one bothers you. So let him eat. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to it. No one. To be honest though, I'm quite small chested anyway. So I did think like if I had bigger breasts, would I have been so brazen about it? Do you know what I mean? Because you're a lot more exposed when you've got more flesh hanging out of your top.
You know what's so weird?
Really.
When I was pregnant and my male family would be around, I was more embarrassed for them to accidentally see my boob than a complete stranger. I don't know why.
I know what you mean.
So like when my nephews were around, I'm just like, well, let me be cautious about, where I breastfeed, or if I can breastfeed, I'll do it. But with strangers, I'm just like, it's a boob. But one thing about having babies and going through labor is I don't care who sees me naked. Because the amount of doctors that came in that room, the amount of nurses, I didn't know your first name. We never met.
Literally.
You didn't introduce yourself. And I'm just sitting here cocked up on the table. I don't care who sees me naked. Like, you know how many vaginas they've seen? You know how many boobs they've seen? So it really makes you become more comfortable with your body. And to any women out there who are not comfortable with their bodies after pregnancy, I want you to become comfortable with your body because it is yours. A lot of women don't even get the chance to give birth, let alone get pregnant. Even that is just like commendable.
Do you know, I agree. And I think also like this is another like high expectations of it's even like society and just like women and ourselves, because your body has gone through a massive change. Like if people haven't taken into account the amount of change your body has gone from the time you conceive, you've had the child growing you for a whole 9 months, sucking all your nutrients, sucking everything from you,
pushing organs back,
had everything. I had a foot in my lung, in my spine. Like, there's so much going on. And I feel like we need to just allow our bodies to recover that period. There's no such, this whole snapback culture is just, I hate it. It's just so null and void. Because it just puts an unnecessary pressure on people to go back to a body that's almost impossible to get back to. Because you've had so many changes, your body has changed so much. Just appreciate the new body you have, whether you like it or not. It's here to stay. Whether you don't like about it, try and alter it by doing the gym and stuff like that. I don't do gym, I'm lazy. There's stuff that I don't like about my body. I haven't got time and I haven't got energy. I don't care that much. If this is my new body, I'm going to accept it because there's nothing I can do about it. That's as simple as it is. And you just have to learn to accept it, really.
Yeah, and if you do want to work out, do it on your pace. Nobody's telling you have to post. Nobody's telling you have to take these pictures. Nobody's telling you that these women, these celebrities that have a nanny, probably, that have a trainer, that can choose that can choose to not eat certain things or go to a doctor and cut it off. That is not the goal.
Exactly. It's so unrealistic.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
go. The everyday woman is very unrealistic.
Yeah, you're just trying to go through a day without spit up on your shirt. I'm not worried about what my body looks like.
Or poo explosions in your hands. Like,
listen,
it's too fun.
I avoided Anya for the first 2 months changing her diaper because every time I changed her, she squirted poo on me. Whenever my mom changed her, it was just a regular diaper change. I'm just like, what's the problem?
You're gonna have problems with her when she's a teenager.
I hope not. I don't know if I'm ready for them being at teenager status because they're very opinionated. So with everything now that your son is out, is parenting what you thought it was going to be?
Absolutely not. I was not prepared for, I would say, about the first 13 to 14 months. Well, not 14 months, actually. Let me say, definitely the first 12 months was the most hardest experience I've ever had to go through. Like, you're so unprepared. You know you're not going to sleep. You know that. But you're so unprepared for how you're going to feel when you're not going to sleep. Yes. How you have to still interact with, like, human life and other people outside of your child when you have had no sleep. Like, you're just not in the mood. Like, I don't want to speak to anyone. Just go away. I'm tired. Like, I'm exhausted. I'm past the point of exhaustion because I haven't slept for the whole of my life, it feels like. Yeah. You just don't have energy to, like, be a good friend or be a good, like, family member to anyone else. You just kind of involved in your child, if you know what I mean.
Or I had with my second Arya, she was very needy, and Anya wasn't needy, and she was very whiny, and I just really felt like, okay, I spent all this time carrying this stranger. I gave birth to the stranger. Then the stranger has the nerve to come in my house, want food, want to be changed, and then on top of that, she won't let me sleep. I didn't sleep for a whole year after having her.
I still don't sleep. He's 16 months almost.
Oh my God.
I'm tired. I don't have. The thing is, the sleep now is completely different. Like I can sleep because before it's like sleep, wake up, sleep, wake up, sleep, wake up. Now he wakes up. When it started going down, it's like, oh, he only wakes up like twice in the night. I felt like I had a full night's sleep by that point because I hadn't slept for so long, and now it's like he just wants comfort.
Yeah.
So he just wakes up in the middle of the night, just wants a little cuddle, wants to climb in my bed, and I'm just like, you just sleep too bad for this to happen.
That's Arya. She'll be 3 next month, and nobody tells you that if you want to be a parent, go ahead and get that king size bed because they don't want to be in their beds. They're always in my bed. Oh my goodness!
And he just sleeps so bad. Like yesterday, I was just like, okay, that's it. You're going back in the cot because I can't have your knee in my back and your foot in my face every night. I'm tired. And then he wakes up at like some unethical hour of the morning to think it's playtime and it's time to go downstairs and it's time to start the morning when it's not. And I'm like, no, it's still night time. Go back to sleep.
Yes, that's both of them. Anya, she's older, so she got into the groove of, okay, I'm up. Don't go wake up my mom. Go, help myself get a snack, watch the iPad or whatever. Aria, I'm up. It'll be 7:00. Mom, wake up. I'm hungry. I want eggs. I want waffles. I want pancakes. And I want oat milk. And then to top it out, she's like, Mom, your butt stinks. I said, Ari. I said, this is what happens when people get up their breast stinks. She was like, okay, let's go brush our teeth. So it's very demanding, and I don't know. I don't sleep as hard as I did before kids because it's like,
no, you don't, do you?
Any child voice you hear, it's like, okay, get up, get up, get up.
Yeah.
Get up. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, y'all take everything.
You just like rest your eyes and that's it.
Yeah.
You just like, but you're not really like, I've got like a Fitbit. And you see how it tells you like what your sleep is like. My deep sleeps are like 10 minutes. And the rest of my sleep is like, I don't sleep. What is sleep?
Yeah. When my friend takes them sometimes, she doesn't have kids, but she just likes to be around kids. She'll take them sometimes and they'll be at her house napping. She's like, oh yeah, we all took a nap. I'm just like, how did you? She was like, you know what? I turned off the TV and I said, you know what? We all gonna take a nap. And they're just knocked out. And so she'll call me and she'll be like, what are you doing? I said, girl, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Yeah. She's like, this is your time to nap. I'm just like, I can't, because when they're not here, I'm just like, what can I do without them getting in the way?
Yeah, exactly. It's hard. Yeah. But that whole like nap when the baby naps thing just doesn't exist. It exists like one day here and there. I'm not going to say I didn't nap at all, but it's not as every day. It's not frequent. It's not like, oh yeah, he's napping now, let me go sleep too. It's like, no, I've got like dishes that's piled up to the ceiling. I've got to wash some clothes. Yeah. I've got to throw his nappy that I left on the side while he was screaming, having a screaming fit. Do you know what I mean? Like there's other things you need to do. So there's just no time.
Well, I could say this. If you do think about having another kid, it does come in a benefit if you do them a certain age apart, that Anya entertains Ari. And when I need to do things, Anya does help get her out of here.
Keep her out of the way.
For Ari. And so I do get a lot more done now that they entertain each other. But
how did you find it when they was younger as well?
Okay.
Like, how did you find dealing with like a toddler and a newborn?
So I have to thank Ari's dad, because we didn't live together, and before Ari, he was around Anya from when she was like 3 months, and he just treated her like his own. So he would come around all the time and just like do stuff with her. And so when Ari came, I was like, hey, is there any way you can give me 3 hours today and come to the house, stay here with Ari, and I go take Anya out? Because I started to feel very depressed and guilty that I couldn't give Anya, a 3-year-old, the attention that she needed before I had this new baby. So we would go to the park, we would go on like lunch dates, we would just like go to the store together, and I would just, you know, make her feel like, oh, I still remember you, I still want to do these things with you.
Yeah,
but it was really hard trying to balance both of them, especially with a baby car seat and Anya sitting in the back. There was like mornings when I had to go to work and I had to drive the opposite direction to drop them off, and then drop the opposite direction to go to work, and then drive past my house to go pick them up, and then go back home. So early mornings, it's pitch black outside. I put them in the car, and I'll leave the base of the car seat in the car and just snap Ari in. But sometimes, at that time, I kept telling her that you need a car seat, I need a car seat. He was like, no, we just share the same car seat. I said, okay. So when he would bring me the car seat, sometimes I will forget to fasten the bottom part in. So I put Ari in, I'm going on the ramp to get on the highway, and here go Ari car seat.
I was so here.
So here go Anya. Mom, Ari fell over again, and she's not even flinching. I was like, can you help her? Can you pick her up?
She said she fell over again.
So it was like a lot of adjusting, and you do feel super exhausted with 2, but when they start to level out each other, like now 2 and 6, it's good. And your second child learns a lot quicker because another child is teaching them than, you know, having one child. But, you know, Anya, she's very advanced because she was around my mom until she was 3.
Okay.
Which is a pro and con because she was never around a lot of kids. So when it came to her going to school, she didn't know the proper way to socialize. She didn't know how to give personal space, but she was very like advanced. She can read, she can write, she can spell words, she can read math, but it's all in socializing and balancing
the social side of it.
But, you know, if you could do 2, I would do 2.
Well, I'm not quite sure about that just yet. I still remember labor and birth like it was yesterday, so I'm not quite prepared for that to happen to me again.
Yeah, I would get a little bit more sleep first and then think about it.
Yeah, maybe one day, possibly, maybe not.
So with you blogging, when do you feel like the most creative? Like when do you feel like, okay, I have to talk about this?
That's a good question. I don't know. I just kind of, this is my first child. So as a first time mum, you're kind of going through literally everything as like you're kind of like a newborn in the situation, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Because it's the first time you've experienced anything like it. No matter how many people could tell you, oh yeah, you just do this, you just do that. Oh yeah, when this happens, da, la, la. It's just so individual that, okay, you may have done that with your child because your child's got a different personality. Like, but my son doesn't take to that because of who he is. Do you know what I mean? So you can't really take advice from other people. You just have to trust yourself. So when I just go through stuff, I think I just prefer just whenever I go for a challenge, I comment a lot on challenges I face rather than like the good moments. It's not that I don't have any, but it's just that because not a lot of people vocalize it, I just want people to be aware that these are the things that you can face when you're dealing with a child, and like these are the problems you can come across, and this is how I solved it because that's what I found easier or best for my child. So you can try these out too, or it's just if and when kind of thing. And then if I kind of feel inspired, then I'll just, I don't know, it's weird. I'm quite creative anyway. So like a lot of my pictures and stuff, it's like I've got the image in my head. I know what I want to do. It's just executing it. And then I'll kind of just like sit aside, think about like a little outfit we can put together, chuck one, try it. Now when he's at the age where I have to like bribe him with something, like, okay, should we watch a show? Hey, let's watch a show. Okay, great. Pose for the picture, and he's trying to like throw down the camera. So it's just like all these challenges. But when he was younger, it was so much easier to take pictures with him because he just sat there, just looked cute, and that was the end of it.
That was a hard time for me. I stopped taking them to get professional pictures because by the time we go to 2 hours of hassle, the pictures look worse than the ones I take. I was like, I'm not coming back. I'm just gonna catch them in moments where they don't see them taking pictures and just snap those. And the personality thing is so true. Like every kid is different, and you just gonna have to find your way because Ari and I, we didn't become good friends until she turned 2. Before it was just like, you know what? It was before she was 2. It was like, you know what? The law says I have to do these things, so I'm going to do these things for you, but I don't like you. And there was that. So now we have an understanding, and you know, she is who she is, and it's just like, okay, girl. All right.
To be honest, I'm sure you won't like all of your kids anyway.
No.
Like, I'm sure there's times my mum must have just been thinking, oh, for goodness sakes, like, why do I have to have everything? Do you know what I mean? Like, I know this, and it's so funny because I know what I was like as like a teenager, and I know I'm just quite independent. I like to get on with things, and I know what I want, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what someone says. I know what I want, and that's the end of that story. So I was like, I always said I don't really want any girls, and so many people are like, you don't want girls, like not even one. And I'm like, if I had all boys, I'd be completely fine.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. And I'm just like, do you think this is a game? Do you think this is a joke? You gave me 2 girly girls, 2 sensitive girls.
No, that's like my worst nightmare.
Oh my God. But, you know, they entertain everybody else. So I'm just like, okay, I'm glad you guys think they're cute. But, you know, you don't have to get up with them at 7 a.m. when you went to bed at 3. You don't.
Seriously.
I don't know. Like, parenting is different for everybody. And, you know, women like you, women like me that are like, okay, this is the real deal. Call me, text me at any hour if you really have a question and you don't want to get it from your mother, or you don't want to get it from, you know, this book, because they're not telling you the real deal. Here are your options. And I think when more women know their options, then they'll feel more at ease going through the process. And
well, you can hope so, or at least they're a bit more prepared rather than thinking it's going to be all roots in the park. Yeah.
Yes, because one of my questions for you was going to be, what about parenting that you wish someone prepared you for that you didn't, but you already answered it.
Everything.
There is like basic preparation to be a mom. There's basic preparation to give birth, but you really don't know what's going to happen. And I think the more knowledge that's put out there, the better off a lot of moms would be. But if you were supposed to describe motherhood in 2 words, what 2 words would you pick?
Rewarding. And inspiring. Like inspiring and motivating, I think. Because it's like, I feel like, okay, it's kind of like, you know, before you have kids, you've got a purpose. Some people know it, some people don't, some people still like figuring it out. But I feel like once you kind of have a child, you like, that is your reason. like it's just your reason for everything. It's your reason for being. It's your reason for striving to be better. It's your reason for I don't know, trying to make your footprint known in this earth, kind of thing. And I feel like your child kind of just puts things into perspective in that sense.
Yeah, completely. It's all the things that you thought you wanted to do before you had a kid, and then when the kid comes, you was like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm not doing this. That doesn't work. And this is, everybody has to find their own format through it.
Yeah.
And that's the exciting part. That's the I didn't know I was capable of this. And
honestly,
another thing being pregnant did for me is it gave me no fear, which is scary and exciting at the same time.
That's interesting.
But before,
what do you mean by no fear?
So after I had Anya, I felt like, girl, you could do anything.
Yeah.
You gave birth. You had a healthy pregnancy. You had a healthy labor. Your child was perfectly fine, and you're good. And the amount of women that die in a hospital, the amount of babies that don't make it to full term. What are you scared of? And it's just like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. So after I had her, not right after, but I want to say like a year after I had her, I went skydiving with one of my friends.
Oh, girl. Okay, I'm not that brave.
So after I jumped out of that plane, I'm just like, oh, I want to do that again. And then after that, I wrote 3 books and I self-published them and I put them on Amazon. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't care about second guessing myself because it's my truth. I don't care about someone not liking something I do or liking something I do. Do I like it? And does it help me? And will it help somebody else? And okay, that's good enough. And I think I would hope that being pregnant and having a child and raising a child makes women more like fearless in the sense of go for it.
Yeah. I feel like it does, minus the skydiving for me.
Yeah. So
I'll do it.
Yeah, and then when you go for things, it shows your kids that they could go for it. And
indeed, definitely.
I talk to my kids like we're both adulting, but I'm the only one adulting. And so we'll be in the car, and Anya will ask me questions. She was like, I'll just be driving. I'm just like, I want to go back to sleep. I don't want to go to this job. I don't like it. And she was like, well, if you don't like your job, why don't you get another job? I said, I can get another job, but I need to get a job that I like. And then I'll tell her, whatever you do, I don't care if you go to college. I don't care if you don't go to college. Just make sure that you get a job that you love. And then she said,
100%.
She said, do you love your job? I said, no. I said, I do my job so I can take care of you guys and I can pay bills.
Yeah.
I do not love my job. And then it makes you think like, man, I don't want to be a hypocrite. Yeah. So that made me cut out time for things that I love, even though I had to do things I had to do. And I think that's what it's about. Momming is about, you can be a mom, you can create, you can do things your way, you can have downtime, you can have a day where you just don't want to, you can rest up, and all of that makes you a better mother. You just have to be more honest about how you mother, and that, you know what, that standard way that they tell you have to mother, it doesn't work, and this is what you can do.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yes,
it's about balance as well. Not doing too much of anything, so not like too much. Don't neglect yourself too much. Don't put your all into one thing. Don't like think you can't do something. Like, just have little balance, little pockets. Like, I got to a stage where I wasn't like taking care of myself at all. I not stopped eating, but because the baby's so demanding in the first like few months, I was just like, the baby's got to eat, the baby's got to sleep, the baby's got to have his nappy change, the baby, and it's like, wait, just remember you exist as a person as well, and you have to be well to look after the baby. So all this baby, even if you do like 1 day a week just to have a quiet bath while he has a half an hour nap, even if you just wash your face and do it for like 5 minutes rather than throwing water on it and running out kind of thing, like it all makes a difference and it all adds up. So it's just like doing things in moderation, not doing stuff too much. Don't panic as much as you do, because I was so panicky when I had him. It's just like, what if I go downstairs and he's upstairs crying? Okay, he's gonna cry, he's a baby. Like, just relax.
Yeah. And that's another thing that happens when you have a second kid is you don't care about a lot of things that you cared about. So like, you know, if you hear boom, what was that? Oh, Ari rolled off the bed. Oh, she'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? You're not running, you know?
They survive.
I'm not like your first kid, they're the ones that can do all the teasing to the other kids, because they'll be like, well, mommy did this for me. Well, you know, for Anya, her first birthday cake was $160. For Ari, her birthday cake was $50. Like, you start to learn what really matters, and your kids, they don't care. They just want you.
Yeah, definitely.
That's it. And
it's as simple as that. You're right.
Find your balance and find what works, because you know, when you just have a baby, everybody comes to your house and is like, oh, I'm here to check on the baby, and you sitting here like,
do I matter? Hello. I'm fine, thank you.
Here I am a whole individual. And that's what I hated about having a baby is everybody acts like you no longer exist and you are not human and you do not need time for you, and everything that you wanted does not matter anymore. Yeah, it does matter.
It was like you was just a birther. That's what you were. We just want to see the baby. We just care about the baby. How's baby doing? Right. And it's just like, and then it's like, because I feel like that kind of feeds into the validation that you don't feel like you're a person, so then you start not acting like you're a person as well.
Yes.
It's valid.
Yes.
Because then you're just like, yeah, the baby, baby, and it's like, hello, look in the mirror, you're a person too. Relax.
Right. People neglect you, and then you start to neglect you.
Yeah, 100%.
This is not how it's gonna work. So yeah, you really do have to find that. And a lot of people will say, you know, both of your kids look like their dad. I'm just like, they do, because their dad did help create them, but their dad did not push them out. Their dad did not do this. And so I'm just like, that's fine, because I told their dad, I'm just like, you know what? I got the best parts of you for the rest of my life, and I'm okay with that. And and it's kind of like, you find peace in knowing that you brought children in the world. You know, you give them the best foundation you can, but you have to let them go and let them figure it out with your guidance. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, let them be their own person.
Yeah, and you be your own person, because that's how they're going to learn to be who they need to be. And that's very important.
I agree.
So with you mothering, what is your biggest challenge so far, besides not getting sleep?
I mean, I do know what I always say, that is the hardest part for me. I used to love sleep. Like,
me too. I woke up at 1 p.m. every day.
Yeah, my mum was like my sister, even still now, like my younger sister, she'll still be like, oh my god, you're always sleeping. I'm like, I have a child, I don't sleep at all. And I'm just like, you're holding on to like 3 years ago. Like, this isn't even who I am anymore. Like,
right.
But outside of that, I don't know, like, personally, I wanted to be at a certain point in my life before I had kids, or before I even like thought about kids, anything. Because for me, I know this sounds really weird and really advanced, but a lot of what I did, such as going to uni and having certain jobs and like mingling with people and XYZ, was because of my kids, like my future kids. It was like, okay, this is like the things you're doing. You know, you want kids. You need to have like a stable house, not for you, for your kids to grow into.
Yeah.
You need to have a stable, like, or a decent income and savings so that your kids can go to like a private school, or they can have funds for uni and survive in uni because you struggled in uni. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like a lot of the things that I wanted to do by the time I got pregnant wasn't done at all, and I was just like, oh my god, like, and I had a lot of anxiety through my pregnancy because I was just like, I can't physically get any of the things that I want to be done. But I've learned to kind of accept that things happen when they're supposed to and in timing. I feel like a lot of my like callings and purpose is related to like where I'm at now, such as like motherhood topics and like the things I'm interested in now, and like helping other people and stuff like that. So it's kind of just kind of done a 360. It's not perfect. I know I've got a long way to go in terms of where I know I will be, but I feel like that's still something I'm kind of battling with myself about, and that I find quite difficult. It's like, oh, it's annoying that I'm not where I want to be, so I have to keep, you know, staying up a bit later than I would like to, even though I'd rather sleep. And some days I'm too exhausted to even do work, so I just want to sleep anyway, so I then do that because you need to sleep.
It's the mindset of that, because you're on the right track, but what you need to do to make you feel like you're doing the right thing is rewarding yourself. You like, I do want to sleep, but I feel guilty that I want to sleep when I could be doing work. But you're going to do your best work if you get sleep.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's,
you know,
right.
And then people that are at a certain place in life that you aim to be, is kind of like, what is the ugly side to where they're at? And maybe it's not feeling fulfilled. Maybe it's not having the time to be ugly and be okay with someone seeing you like that. And it's all in balance that, you know what, there's no way that the person that's on these magazines could go to Walmart at 2 a.m. and look like this and be comfortable.
That's true.
You know, and I take like little pieces of, you know what, I'm glad I'm not famous. I'm glad, you know, I'm not super rich, because the life I live is very authentic and it's very genuine. And when you have a big look at me life, it's kind of like, how do you pick the real out of that?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you've got so many eyes looking at you and telling you, like, what's wrong with you? You're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. Like, it's a lot. So then you kind of change yourself to adapt to stuff. Yeah, I'm not into that either.
Yeah.
But I can see how easy it would be to get wrapped up in that. I can see how, like, especially if you hear it every day. Like, I mean, sometimes I'm reading through celebrities' comments and I'm just like, you guys don't even know this person.
Right. And it makes people feel like they just
the comments like your best friends.
Yeah, and now I understand why celebrities have kids and hide their children.
Yeah, definitely.
Hide their children. Like, it makes sense.
Yep.
They didn't ask to be famous. They didn't ask for people to want to know what they look like. Why do you let your kid do this? Why do you let your kid wear this? It's not your child.
Too many opinions. Yeah.
And I try to pull away from what do you think about what this person is doing with their kid? This is what I think about it. I think anyone doing something that's a celebrity with their children, they didn't hire me to have an opinion about their parents. I don't pay their bills. I'm not in their tax bracket. Therefore, I don't have an opinion because I know that there's no one on this earth, not even my mother, that could come tell me what to do as a parent to my child.
Yeah, 100%.
And if I feel like that and I don't have the money they got, I'm definitely not opinionated about how they parent, and that's just how it should be.
I agree.
And nobody can
feel
tell
like
you what
not
to do.
everything needs to be said as well. People seem to think in this day and age that, oh, if I think it, I'm gonna say it. But I'm sorry, if I saw you on a normal day, you just walk past the street. If I don't like someone's shoes across the road, I'm not gonna shout across the road, "Hey mate, I don't like your shoes." You just keep it moving.
Right.
You mind your business and you just keep moving. So just keep your opinions to yourself, especially negative ones. It's so unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unnecessary. Because sometimes I want to comment on stuff and then I'm just like, but why would you do that? Like, what's the need? Do you know what I mean? Like,
as an adult, I've learned to not give my opinion unless somebody verbatimly says.
Oh, I can't hear you. Any more technical difficulties? I can hear you now.
So I as an adult, I learned to not give my opinion unless you say, "What do you think about this?"
Yeah, definitely.
Then I'll give my opinion. But I'm not doing that. I'm just like, okay,
yeah.
I see that. Let me pass it because I don't have anything good to say.
Yeah, exactly. It's not always necessary. No one cares about your input half the time.
Right.
And so what?
Right.
Leave people to live their life and just move forwards and live your own. That's it.
And that's how you find like your own discoveries. That's how you find your own way of being encouraged to do more. Mm-hmm. And with doing everything that you do, where do you find your encouragement to do more? Like, where did that come from?
I'm just naturally quite ambitious. I've realized in life not everyone is. I actually thought it was just a normal thing that everyone had.
Right.
Until recently. But I'm naturally quite ambitious. Like, I like to challenge myself. Mm-hmm. I like to put myself in uncomfortable positions so that I can get through, overcome, and know what to do moving forward. Mm-hmm. And then obviously with having Tayin, I've just it's just amplified that. Because it's like, even if I'm, like I was saying, for instance, the tiredness, I could be tired, but I'm like, okay, I know I need to put this out, or I know I need to kind of think about what I need to do in my next steps. Or even if I kind of, sometimes you get into like a rut, whether it's a creative block or you're just not feeling in the mood to do stuff. Mm-hmm. And when I have got like that, it's like, no, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What kind of what's the word? Like, what kind of example are you showing your son if you kind of just get stuck in this rut of being like a 9-to-5er? You go to work, you come home, you're tired, you go to sleep, you wake up, you go to work. Do you know what I mean? Like, how are you encouraging your son to be better when he gets to a certain age and needs to do better for himself? So get up, plan some ish out, get your life, and go to sleep after you've done some stuff. That's it. So it definitely helps.
Yeah, we need to be the example, and we need to go against the grain when we find ourselves being very like uniformish about life, because you don't learn anything in life if you're doing everything the same way the last generation did it, and it's just like, okay, that doesn't work anymore, so I gotta find something else to do to make this work.
Also, it's so much easier to do it like that as well. It's a lot harder to kind of push yourself further than some of the people before you did.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot easier to just be like, okay, I just need to go to work so that I have food on the table. It's very easy to just be like that. It's a lot harder to be like, okay, I need to work so I've got food on the table, but I also need to invest into the things that I'm passionate about and could potentially bring me in an additional income that I never knew about or whatever. But you have to push yourself a lot harder than the regular person would have to.
Do you have a lot of supportive friends or family around you that focus on the things that they want to do that help you?
I think family-wise, my family's not quite old school, but they're quite old school. They just like, as long as you're making money, as long as you've got a stable job, so it's like they're ambitious in the sense that they don't mind working up in their job, but they're not ambitious in the sense of there's anything outside of the role or there's anything outside of that sector. I've got a lot more ambitious friends who are quite like me, which is good. Like most of my circle, I don't make a lot of friends. I don't really like people that often.
Me too.
So I just select a few friends here and there. Like, yep, okay, you can vibe with me, you can vibe with me, and that's it.
Yeah. Are there 3 women now that you would want to like shout out or talk about what they do that really motivate you or keep you on your toes about things?
Yeah, there's quite a few. Okay, 3, if I have to bump it down to 3. Okay, like none of my friends had kids but me, but just in the general spectrum of life. So my friend Ivy, she went to uni, done her masters. She came out, she does a lot of work with like Black and ethnic minorities in terms of getting them jobs. So she does a lot of like prison reform work. So she does a lot for the Black community. She's very empowering. She's got bigger goals than the one she's working on now, and like she just wants to do well by Black and ethnic minorities, which is something I love about her. And she's on Instagram. What is her Instagram? It's no, it's because it's got like.
Well, if you don't remember it, just send it to me and I'll put it in the link.
Fine, I'll do that. Okay, so you can cut this part out.
Who's the second person?
My second person is one of my other friends, Let. She also does a lot of ethnic minorities. Because for me, like, obviously, I'm Black, and I think it's important to empower your people. At the end of the day, like, we're always like the bottom of the barrel, basically, and it's very important to kind of for us to invest or in some way, whether it's financially, whether it's supporting, but to invest back into our communities, and we don't do enough of it. So yeah, I'll always support that. So my next friend Lynette, she also does a lot of work like that. She does a lot of like business stuff related to Africans, and doing stuff in the continent. She's from Uganda, so she does a lot of work over there. So she's very inspiring to me. One of my other friends, she's an artist. She focuses a lot on mental health within Black communities as well. Her name's Kurz Art on Instagram. Her time will come. I feel like she just needs like a good break. Yeah. You know, like someone who's like on the brink of like just cracking it, but not quite there. She'll get there.
Yeah. I think with social media, websites, and the ability for companies to meet creatives, it's meshing so good that they've never had this much access to a platform for millions of people, that all your friend probably needs to do is go on a website that has t-shirts or a product and put the art on product, and boom, somebody wears it. It's a conversation. And that is social media today. That is how it happens. So,
and the good thing is, like, with social media as well, is you can make connections that you just never would have ever in normal life. Like, it connects you to people that you would have never had connections to. Like, it's interesting. It's a good exposure technique.
Like right now, I didn't know you.
I know.
I just DM'd you and I'm just like, hey, I'm doing this. Would you like to do this? And you was like, yes. And I like being able to see people within their passion and within their light. And I like to give people like their time to talk about what it is, because I don't know who's going to listen to this. I don't know what is going to change for them. And if we can help a bigger picture, that's just like all of your friends that are doing things for a bigger picture. It's going to get a bigger result. And It's just thoughts and creatives always, collaborating and getting together and doing something outside of themselves that makes that. So I love it, and I always welcome it. And I'm always like, okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. Let me talk to this person.
Yeah.
But in real life, I don't go anywhere. In real life, I don't go anywhere. I go to the library. I take my kids to the park. I take them to school. We go to the grocery store. And when it's just me, I'm just like, I want to be home.
Yeah, me too. Homebody.
This quarantine is like perfect.
Keep myself to myself, mind my business, drink my tea, and go to sleep. That's me.
Yes. What is it that makes you feel like your ultimate woman? So like when you get up, or you just feel like, oh, I feel good right now. Like, what is that helps you feel that?
That's a good question. To be honest, when I wake up, I'm like half dead anyway, so I don't really wake up and feel like, oh my god, like, do you know what? L'Oreal, I'm worth it. I always feel like, ugh.
Yeah.
It takes me about half an hour to get to the point where I'm like, oh yay, like amazing. I liked, do you know what's really I found really interesting lately? Podcasts, funny enough. I like to listen to motivational podcasts, and it's only something I've started within the last couple of months, I would say. I think they're quite hard to find though. That's the thing I'm kind of struggling with. I don't find it as easy to navigate and find good podcasts as easy as it is to kind of find like a good image, let's say, or some inspiration on something on Pinterest or Instagram. I find it a lot harder. But if I do find a good podcast, I'm like, yep, amazing. And I just feel like alive. It just I don't know, good positive words fuel me.
I listened to a few, so I'll send you some. But yeah,
please.
I like those too. I like podcasts that make me learn something, or force me to think outside of myself, or change a habit that's not really great in my life, and try to be better. On my other podcast, She Gets It, I did a whole 4th series on being better. So like each episode, there's an episode about turmeric, there's an episode about sea moss, there's an episode about matcha tea, there's an episode about...
I'm going to sign up to listen immediately.
Yes. And I'm just like, you know what? While everybody's at home, just sitting and just being in the essence of what their home is, this is the time for you to really think about, what do you need in your life? What can you do without? What you need to do better, what you should be eating.
Agreed.
What work you need to be doing with yourself. So how you look at other people and how people look at you would be better. And I was like, let me just toss this out of here. So whoever needs to listen to this can listen to this. And if TV or videos or discussions is not about being better, you won't find me in them.
No, I hear you.
I just, being better, or just listening to people talk about a higher living. Like, oh my gosh, like that's a job. Like, oh my gosh, like they can afford to be on a boat for 2 years. Like, how do you financially set yourself up to have your children, have your wife, have your husband on a boat for 2 years?
It's so funny you say that, because there's this family on Instagram, and the mum and dad quit their jobs and just decided to go traveling around the world, and I was just like what? So it's so funny, because I literally thought the same thing, like, how on earth did you manage to do that?
It's this podcast called Chris Hogan 360. And he's basically like a financial advisor. And he talks to millionaires. He talks to people that are working on their own businesses. And they call in with questions. And I love hearing people live in a different way of living. Like they called and they were like, you know what, we have this much in our 401k, we have this, and I want to know, should I go ahead and pay for my child to go to school for the next 4 years now, or should I, refinance the house? And it's just like, I want to get to the point where I can have discussions of setting my children up so they can set their children up. And it's kind of like, I don't want to sit and talk about gossip because that doesn't matter. I want to talk about how do I get to this point. And to just listen to that and to learn, what got them there and why did they start their businesses is that's where it's at for me.
Did you say Chris Hogan 360?
Yeah, Chris Hogan 360.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a good show, and you can email him and he'll read like the emails off and answer your questions, and it's just very like interactive. And I'm just like, he welcomes people who are not millionaires. Any questions you have, he gives tips. He talks about, better ways, like you should go for a 15-year mortgage instead of a 30-year mortgage, and he gives you like the benefits. And it's just like things you wouldn't know to look up is like in your face.
Yeah.
So I like that. So that's
anything we can learn from.
Yes, because
that's amazing.
In schools they don't teach you the things you're gonna need in life.
Anything.
So I'm just like, what do I need in life? I want to go to that class, and it's just like it's not there. So it's up to us to teach ourselves. And the epitome of now, where a lot of us have our kids at home and they can't go to school. A lot of parents are losing it because they didn't get books in their house. They have TVs, they have devices. A lot of our kids, they don't know how to use a dictionary, so they're asking you how to spell things. I always have books in here. A lot of people don't buy magazines like that, so what are they going to research? They're going to use a computer.
Yeah, it's true.
Just like, it makes you reevaluate, like, how are you teaching your children at home?
That's true.
Like, how are you teaching your children to get their own answers for things? And that's what I like, and I do not like this quarantine, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
People are struggling. I'm just like, it's just fine. I get to do things that I wouldn't have been able to do had this not happened.
Right.
And I feel like you have to grab it by the horns because it's not going to be here forever. So use your time wisely. Do what you need to do in this time and do something with your life and yourself. Done.
Yeah. The people that don't cook at home, they are struggling.
Struggling?
Like, what?
It's so funny. It's so crazy to see how like non-functional adults are in this day and age. Like, just, that's a basic necessity, is to cook. And you have the time to cook now, but you're crying because delivery is not coming to your house.
They're still delivering here.
Are they?
And this is my thing. We are worried about a virus that a lot of people do not know that they have. And I think a lot more people have it than what the numbers are on TV. But you are willing for a stranger or multiple strangers to touch your food, then come bring it to your house and eat it.
This is the thing.
Why not just cook it yourself and know that your hands are clean?
Exactly. I said the same thing to my mum. Like, she was just like, oh yeah, McDonald's is closing down. I said, I don't want Corona McNuggets anyway, so they can stay closing down. Do you know what I mean? It's all good and well saying, oh, this shop shut down. Yeah, no one wants Corona pizza, no one wants Corona Chinese either, so they can all go. And I'll do my own, but you can do all this variation from home anyway.
And save a lot more money.
Exactly. Make your own Chinese, make your own pizzas, make your own chips and burgers, and be happy and know that you're not ill because you've made it.
Right. And it's healthy and it's not done in a processed way.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah, I've been juicing for the past 2 weeks, and This morning I made celery juice. I did like a berry juice. I tried to use the bananas so they don't go bad at my house. And so
I lost you. I can't hear you anymore.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oops, I can't see you anymore. What happened here?
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear and see you now.
Okay. So like for the past 2 weeks I've been juicing, so Anya comes to me this morning. She was like, how come every time you want juice, you gotta make it? I said, I don't have to make it, but I want to make it because I got the time to make the juice. And with this virus going around, it's the stronger immune systems that can fight it off. So I'm just like, well, let me just make my juice and be like more aware that I'm doing things to be more healthy instead of just sitting in here, not being able to move about and be, on the go and be healthy about it. Because I don't want to sit here and like gain 12 pounds and then go outside and be like, hey, this is who I am. Right, so I'm just like, oh gosh. So let me be smart about me being in the house.
I've been trying to put on weight for the whole of my life, so I'm just here like, come find me now. Come on, fat, you can do it.
Like, right, pass me the chips.
Yeah.
And the kids, they eat like crazy, so I have to like, okay, this is what
you're my god, no, my son has not stopped eating the whole time.
I'm just like, you can't do
seriously.
This. You can't do this.
And at nursery, they have their schedule.
Exactly.
They eat at breakfast, they have their snack, they eat at lunch, they have their snack, they have their tea time, they have their snack, and that's it. Every 2 seconds, this boy's gone to the cupboard to come and give me a snack, and I'm just like, no.
Right. Ari's walking around my house rubbing her stomach. I said, what is that? She's like, I just need a snack. I said, no, you don't, because I'm not even hungry. You don't need a snack. I was like, what are you talking about?
It's too much. He's literally scoffing the whole house. I'm like, don't you know we're low on resources in this world? Like, just stop it.
Right. What are your thoughts on people that give like their kids their own social media? Like when you see like babies have their own social media page, or kids that are like on their phones all the time have their own social media page.
Do you know what? My son has, me and his dad created a social media page for him. Mm-hmm. And the reason being was because we wanted to get him into modeling.
Right.
But if I'm monitoring it, I wouldn't give it to him to monitor until he's of a certain age. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the only reason he's got it. And even sometimes I'm like, I don't post what his dad does, because I'm not sure if I even want him to have it, if I'm honest. And it's not because of him, it's mainly because of other people.
Right.
And I would rather me be able to post him on my page and I'm monitoring it, than just, because people are weird.
Yes.
People are weird.
And I'm for it for those reasons. Like, if you want to get your child into modeling, or if they're in like pageant, okay.
Yeah.
But if your child is like 6 years old or 7 and they have a cell phone and they post them videos and pictures, it's kind of like...
Yeah, I've seen that as well. I feel like it's like a robbery of childhood because we didn't have any.
Yes! I was like, I didn't get a cell phone until I was 16. And Anya has been asking me for a cell phone since she was 5.
No way.
I'm just like, no.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
But, parents try to be like pro smartphones because they have a tracking on it and you can monitor them. But I'm just like, even as an adult, when you go to like concerts and people have cell phones and they're in the air, and you're like 5 feet like me, and you're just like, I didn't come here to see hands. I wanted to see the person on stage. It's annoying, and it takes away from like the experience. And I don't want her to be so engulfed into like what's on her phone.
Yeah,
instead of like playing outside or figuring out how this works, or actually having discussions with people that are in front of you.
Yeah.
You can tell
enjoying real life.
The way a lot of these kids text that you have never had a conversation with an adult.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm just like, what does this word mean?
It's we're in like such a lazy generation. It's so fast, quick. Don't care. Technology.
Right.
And like it's just taken away from all the like older gems that we used to have, like you said, like reading books and going out to play with your friends and all of that. Like personally, because of how people are in this day and age, I wouldn't allow Tayan to go and play out with his friends. Like, you know, I was like 6 and 7 playing out with my friends, or
Me
like,
too.
do you know what I mean? Like, it was that kind of era, but now, no chance. No
Like,
chance. People are crazy.
Yeah, I think weirdos were around when we played outside, but it was very few and far between.
Yeah.
Now it's just like people are trying to diagnose it like it's just, you know what? I have allergies. I just like children. No, that's not a thing. That is not right. And so I'm just like, no. My kids go to the park. They go to places, but I go.
Yeah.
And anybody else, I'm watching. And even like now when I take them to the park, I dress them in bright colors and odd shoes on purpose. That way when I look up,
so
I can find them faster.
Yeah.
Because when you go to the park and all the kids have the same thing, you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah, which one is? Yeah, that's true. That's so true. That's a good point.
Listen, I think everybody should parent how they parent. I think you should continue to do episodes and talk about anything that's on the top of your mind that you feel like is odd in motherhood, so other mothers can be like, okay, there's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's so true. I feel like sometimes I do get a bit disheartened. Like I was, like for instance, posting to my YouTube, I go through spells where I just like, I feel like I've been editing this video for like 4 years. By the time I post it, no one's even going to care about it. Like, it's so, because it's so not far from my present, but like, if I talk about what my pregnancy was like now, it's like, what for?
Somebody's going to use it.
But it's true, and I'm trying to not talk myself out of it.
Don't, because when you think about pregnancy, it's just like how the only difference in pregnancy over the years is the equipment's better, the access to information is better, but our experiences while pregnant is the same thing. If somebody would have told me, I used to say this, I said, you know what, I'm not having kids until they invent a pill that makes you sleep through it and the baby disappears. That's what I'm having kids. I always told my mom that, and she was like, okay. Now, you got me in this labor room pushing. Yeah, I would keep sharing. I'm always sharing with friends. I have a friend now that she's pregnant. I'm just like, look, here's a picture of what labor is like, natural. She's like, you know what? She's like, I want to have a natural birth. I said, are you sure? She was like, you know, my mom had a natural birth. I was like, when you
I feel like everyone thinks that until they get into the room and feel like what labor feels like, and then it's like, nah.
I knew.
Like, give me anything. If they was like, this tranquilizer pill is going to kill you, I'd be like, yeah, I need some of it.
Listen,
quickly.
When I said I wanted the epidural, and I kept asking for it, they was like, well, it's not time yet. I said, just letting you know I want it. And so they came in there. I was like, don't look at the needle. I said, I don't care about that needle. Go ahead and stick it in. Go ahead and stick it in. I don't care. So, I don't know. If you can handle pain, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me,
but you literally don't have to.
Yeah. Breathing did not help me.
I feel like epidurals are a lot more not acceptable, but a bit more acceptable in America.
Yeah.
Over here, no one really speaks about it. It's like, oh, did you have an epidural because you had a C-section? Like it's usually because of the C-section. It's not because I just didn't like the pain and I decided to have an epidural because it kills.
Mm-hmm. I have friends who have scheduled their C-section. So I'm just like, so you just got to pick your due date, and sometimes it's because their cervix is too small.
Yeah.
So they'll go ahead and schedule it. But my friend had 3 kids and all of them were C-section. She was like, you know what? You should have more kids. You've never pushed. No,
yeah.
I'm not having any more.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
No. But it was fun speaking with you. Can you tell the people how to find your YouTube channel and your IG?
Okay. My YouTube is full of all those random numbers and letters, but if you type in Truly Tanni on YouTube, you'll find me. And if you type in Truly Tanni on Instagram, you'll find me. So
perfect.
It was lovely talking to you, and thanks for having me.
Of course, you have to come back more and talk about the real in pregnancy.
Yes, I will. Whenever you want me, I'm here.
All right, perfect. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
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 Bye.